100 days to beat the next pandemic. That sounds pretty difficult, right? Well, here in the United States, we are still battling that pandemic, what we call C-19. The reason for this is because we were behind. We had no clue what was coming. Now, we all know that another pandemic is coming. There isn't an expert or a world leader that doesn't agree. The only question is when. Well, according to Bill Gates and the World Health Organization, the next pandemic will happen in 2025, and it's going to originate in Brazil. Now, today we're not going to talk about the next pandemic or how this is going to impact us. Today, we're going to talk about what the World Economic Forum is actually pushing us towards. And it's something called the 100 days to outrace the next pandemic. Think about that. The discussions that have been had in Davos is based around a report that was released in November of 2022. That report, put together by the Coalition of Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, also known as CEPI, they are preparing for the next big event. Now, here's what I can tell you. They are saying that it's going to be 100 days to outrace the next pandemic, to beat the next pandemic, whenever that is. But what does this mean? What is going to happen? Well, here's what's being said. This past pandemic was a catastrophe and everybody knows it, and we must do better. They say that we have to be better, and by better, the World Economic Forum is discussing a much faster response time. With C-19, it took pharmaceutical companies about 326 days from the release of the virus to then go and get the authorization of an effective vaccine. And yes, according to all studies, the vaccine was effective. However, was it safe? That is the question. And that is something that experts, and they're still studying and will most likely be studying for decades to come, because we are not going to have answers anytime soon. But here's what the World Economic Forum is doing right now, or here's where they're at. They are discussing using the 100 days to outrace the next pandemic all across the world. The G7 and the G20, they have embraced it, and we're all moving forward with it. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions as to how anybody plans to outrace the next pandemic. If you are planning to beat something, then you know it's coming, right? Here's the answer, and it's pretty simple. CEPI has a $3.5 billion strategy that they plan to implement over the next 5 years, and they will work to prepare for the next pandemic. And their goal is to provide vaccines in less than 100 days. But not only vaccines, actually have a plan in place that, okay, no matter how big or small the next pandemic is, we have 100 days to beat it. If you think about this, 100 days to beat C-19 would have meant we were out of this in April of 2020. That was about the time where we were starting to see shutdowns. Businesses were closed. Schools were closed. Workers didn't go anywhere. Right? You had to be an essential worker to even leave your house. But again, we were only supposed to shut down for 2 weeks, for 14 days. But instead, we closed down for a long time. Now, what we are hearing is that the key word with all of this is safe and effective vaccines in less than 100 days. They say vaccines are our most potent weapon against infectious disease and are at the heart of the global response to epidemic and pandemic threats. They also go on to say the faster safe and effective vaccines are developed and deployed, the faster a looming pandemic can be contained and controlled. That's the key. However, some are now saying, this discussion in Davos just happened the other day, about 2 days ago, this discussion is now bringing up more discussions, and a lot of it's talking about this, contained and controlled. Are we wanting to just ensure that the pandemic and any potential virus is contained and controlled, or are governments attempting to contain and control the people? We don't know. That is something that we just don't know at this time. Now, how does CEPI plan to get this done? Well, they have a list. You can go to their website, but I will read it for you. One of the things is creating a library of prototype vaccines for representative pathogens across multiple virus families. They want to get clinical trials networks at the ready, speed up identification of immune response markers, establishing global capacity to make top quality, safe, and effective new vaccines quickly, and strengthening disease surveillance and global early warning systems. That's their plan. Now, do I think all this could work? Yes. We have the capacity, we have the money, right? We have everything that we need to do this. The only issue is, will this be safe? Now, here's my question to you. Would you put something in your body, whether it's a shot, whether you ingest it, whatever it is, would you put something in your body that was developed in part and barely tested in less than 100 days? Would you do this? Now, I bring this up because one of the things one of the statements I've received on this channel over the past 2 years has, especially regarding vaccines, is why would somebody put something in their body that was quickly done? It was rushed. It was rushed. Like I said, 326 days between the time that we knew of the virus versus when we actually got authorization from the FDA. So again, it's interesting. It's really interesting to see what's trying to be done here, because it's pushing people in, according to some, the wrong direction. And here's the other thing. Just this morning, the FDA stated that they are now looking into the possibility of having a one vaccine. Okay, it would be a yearly, annual shot. It's very similar to the flu vaccine, right? Where you go and get your flu shot, you go and get this C19 shot as well. It's interesting where they're going with this, because the discussions lately have all been about moving out of this pandemic, getting away from it. Yet now it's all about, we need to make sure the next one isn't going to be worse. It's interesting because we're still kind of in this one. Why would we be working on the next one when we can't figure this one out? So we're going to see what happens, moving forward. But I just wanted to fill you in on what this 100 days to outrace the next pandemic is. I don't know if 100 days is realistic, but that is what they're saying. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Again, I'm always interested to know what you guys are thinking, especially regarding the pandemic and vaccines and everything in between. But again, let me know down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.